Rev up your engines. Here is a 2016 Avalon that the guy got a phenomenal deal on. It was only 16,000 miles. He paid $19,000 for it because he had a neighbor that had it sitting in the garage. A single guy with 3 vehicles. He didn't want this anymore. He didn't like it because the scowling mouth. I don't particularly like it either, but it's no reason to get rid of a perfectly good car. Now, the original Avalons were made in Japan. Then they started making them in Kentucky. This particular one was made in Kentucky. I had a Camry station wagon made in Kentucky. It was a great car. Nothing wrong with these cars. They got a nice V6 engine. It's just that everyone wants SUVs. And in the end, they were only selling small amounts of the Avalons in the United States. So Toyota was still making Toyota Crowns in Toyota. Now they're selling Toyota Crowns made in Japan, which is the replacement for this, which is basically the same kind of exact car, because the Crowns are selling over here now. They're hybrids, just like the Camrys, and that was kind of the problem with the Avalon. Camrys were good cars, so were the Avalons. But the Avalons cost a whole bunch more, and they're basically fancy Camrys, just like the Crown is a fancy Avalon. Now, you can get a Camry today. A guy brought me a brand new one a few weeks ago. He paid 31 grand. It gets 51 miles a gallon. He bought it here in Clarksville. But if you want to buy the Crown, they go anywhere from 15,000 more than that to 25,000 more, and they're both hybrids. I mean, to me, it's kind of a crazy thing. They're not going to sell that many of them. Toyota just figured, hey, we're making these Crowns in Japan. Why don't we import them to the United States and see how they go? There's a certain amount of people that will pay all that extra money to get the Crown name on it instead of the Camry name. This particular one was probably one of the best ones ever made, even though it was made in Kentucky. Toyota's infinitely reliable V6 engine. Modern engines, got timing chain, not a timing belt. These things can run and run and run. It's got the torque of a V6, so it's an extremely smooth car. Now, there was nothing wrong with 4-cylinder versions in the Camrys or in these and some of the early ones. You could get a 4-cylinder engine. They don't have the torque though that these engines have. These have smooth riding, and they're pretty luxurious for the size of car that they are. And if he drives on the highway at highway speeds, 32 miles a gallon, nothing to sneeze at. But of course, like I said, the new ones are all hybrid, and they can get 50 something on the highway. So they do get a lot better gas mileage, but with some extremely complex technology that I doubt as if those things are going to be running 300,000-400,000 miles, 20-30 years without some serious money spent. I've seen these things with no money spent other than oil changes, and they'll go 300,000 miles. So you kind of get to pick and choose. Although today you don't get to pick and choose because they don't sell the V6 in them anymore. If you like this kind of power and you could find one like this that's only got 16,000 miles on it, hey, my advice is snap it up. Even if you don't love the car, you can sell it to somebody else when you're tired of it, because there's always people that want a smooth sedan with a nice V6 that gets decent gas mileage with a very dependable transmission that they don't have to do anything except change the oil, which is all he's done in the time he's owned it. Now as we go inside, you can see very nice interiors. Yeah, their interiors are a lot nicer than the Camrys are, for sure. Slam the door, solid door. I rented a car just like this for my son's wedding. So, hey, they're nice cars. The black and chrome trim is great. And you can see, you know, you can play around in these because fortunately this has a no-key system. I'm not a big fan, but they're all going that way. You can drive it either as an automatic, which most people do, or you can put it into manual mode where you can shift it up or down yourself. You can see, you can go through all 6 speeds here, or if you really want to have fun, hey, you can do paddle shifting. Ooh, look at that. Paddle shifter up, paddle shifter down. But most people just put them in drive and drive them. Heated seats. You can go eco, normal, or sport mode. If you want to get better gas mileage, you want to drive it normal, or you want to go a little zippy, get a little bit worse gas mileage, all at the push of a button. Dual climate control for each side. And hilariously enough, it's still got a CD player in, but it has XM satellite too. Oh, it doesn't have a sunroof, which strangely enough is the reason the original guy bought the car. He hated sunroofs, so he bought this But then he decided he hated the front grille and he got rid of it. Bought himself a Subaru Outback. I think he's a fool. This is 10 times the car of a Subaru Outback. Now we check out the back seat if we unlock the door. In we go. Luxurious back seat. Look at the room. I'm no tiny town. Front seat's back. There's still lots of room. You got nice heating controls here. You can have people sit in the middle. Oh, they got a really nice armrest. And of course, if you want to get in the trunk, you can get in the trunk. Hello in there. It's really a very comfortable car to carry people around in. Of course, it's got a nice trunk too. The trunk doesn't want to open. All right. Well, the trunk works fine. I guess the remote needs a new battery. As you can see, they've been to Rural King. You got a lot of room in this trunk. That's one of the big things about this. You can carry a ton, and you can flip the seats down if you want to slide even more stuff, like a big screen TV. But of course, nobody really does that anymore since Amazon took over and they bring it to your house and set it up in it so you don't have to even touch the stupid thing. Now, we'll get the big old scan tool out. It already read it. That was fast. She's going to do a full topology scan. So while it's doing it, we'll look around again. It's a really nice setup. Clean. Like the new ones, I don't know what Toyota was thinking, but they got those horrible, ugly screens that cover up here. It's like somebody glued it on. This obviously was designed in one piece. Now it's got 2 trouble codes, so we'll just see what little things are wrong. One of them is the GPS, which this doesn't have a GPS, so we didn't even care. Hey, look, everybody's got phones. The Google stuff works so much better. Why would you want to use a system that a company has that you got to update it and all that stuff? Truthfully, I don't even know why they put that crap on cars these days. Well, the code is voice recognition microphone disconnected, so the whole thing's not connected. We don't care. We'll see what it says for the ECM. And it's exactly what I thought it would be. Startability fault. I just get it with these remote starters. Sometimes they don't start and they trip that code. It is the original battery, so it's 9 years old. I would say it's probably time to change the battery at some time in the future. They live in the South, so it doesn't get that cold. And I mean, the other day I checked my daughter-in-law's Tacoma's battery and it was really old. I said, look, you only got 30% left. It's time to change it. But it started the car, she said. I said, well, it's not going to start the car when it gets really cold. So, check it every once in a while. It gets slow, just replace the battery. We'll erase that stupid code. Now we'll start her up. Take a look at live data. There'll be a lot of it. Remember, black is good, red is bad. The mass airflow sensor's good. Then the closed loop like it's supposed to be. Even tells you it's using gasoline at the moment. And here we have the oxygen sensor. One is perfect. You can see it's going between 0.998, 996, 1.02. Occasionally it's perfect, and sometimes it's off 2 1,000ths of a percent or 3 1,000ths of a percent. You can see it's idling like a dream. So I know it's running perfectly. Well, I kind of figured that. If he's getting 32 miles a gallon on a highway, that's what these things get when they're running correctly. You can see the catalytic temperatures following itself perfectly. And we'll look at the rest. Everything's looking good. The variable valve timing's good. Well, of course, there's a lot of information, but all of it's good. Like I say, a lot of information. Whee! 3 days later. Okay. A little road trap. Camera's smaller, but you can see what you're looking at. Really smooth. I do have to say, I can see why some people buy these because they are more luxurious than the Camry. I don't know personally if I would spend the extra money, but this guy didn't. He bought it for $19,000 with only 16,000 miles on it. Now that is one heck of a deal. With that V6 engine, you got nice, smooth acceleration, doesn't strain the engine. Yeah, hey, 32 miles a gallon on the highway, it's nothing to sneeze at for a car that rides this nice. The brakes work perfectly fine. This is a car you can cruise all day long. You're not going to get a sore neck or a sore back. And here we go. And there comes my wife back from the grocery store for New Year's. She didn't notice it was me because this isn't my car. As we come to our little drag strip, we look back, nobody's coming. So we can come to a complete stop. And then we'll step on the gas. Whoa! The traction control worked. It started to peel out. Then the traction control stopped it from peeling out. That shows you this has a tremendous amount of power. Very smooth. When you want to pass somebody, you step on the gas. You can see the speedometer picks up rather quickly. Does its job. So you can cruise all day in one of these things. You're not going to get sore. They're comfortable. They're quiet. They're really nice cars. And if you're gonna use one like this, such a low price with low mileage, hey, like I say, snap it up. Even if you're not nuts about the car, you could sell to somebody else and make money. You can't get this V6 engine anymore. Snap them up before they're all gone or all worn out. Really nice cruising sedan. I know people are all into SUVs, but many people do not need an SUV. There's plenty of room in the back of this car. It's got a giant trunk, something this comfortable to drive around. All he's done in the last 35,000 miles is change the oil. That's it. Now we'll do a turnaround, head back. We'll see what kind of a turning radius this thing has. I gotta say, hey, turns around pretty smoothly. Nice turning radius. Got the back up, you just twirl around. Corners like a race car. Suspension of these later model ones, this being a 2016, is radically improved over the earlier visions. This thing is just one smooth driving machine. Okay, so there you have it, a 2016 Avalon. Probably the best Avalon ever built as far as I'm concerned, with the V6, very dependable transmission, good gas mileage. Now they stopped making them because everybody wants SUVs. But now Toyota's bringing a Crown, which is basically a Japanese version of this, made in Japan over here, and they're selling that. But all I have to say is, when you look at the price differential between the Camry and the Crown, sometimes it's $15,000, $20,000 more for the Crown. Would I pay that? No, I wouldn't, because I've been in brand new 2025 Camry hybrids, and they were phenomenal. I would not pay another 15 grand just to get Crown on the back and more leather inside. So, you find one of these lying around with low mileage like he did, snap it up. Even if you don't need a car, it'll run a long time. Somebody will want to use it, that's for sure, and it'll last for years and years and years. It doesn't have all that technology that the newer ones have in them. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.